Hey guys, Evan Reddit here, back with another subreddit series. Today it is entitled Parents. So grab your coffee, put your feet up, and let's get right into it. So this one is called Entitled Parents Threaten to Call CPS and sue daycare for having an autistic child. So Cass AM entitled Mom, ED is entitled Dad, EB1 and 2 entitled Brats 1 and 2, and SB Sweet Boy M Manager. Wow, that's a lot. So before some of my health issues, I worked in a few daycare centres as an early childcare assistant. Working in childcare means you see your fair share of entitled parents. Oh, I bet you do. But this couple took the cake. It was the start of September and our daycare had a few openings for new students. I have been with this daycare for maybe a month and I've gotten quite close to the group of 12 or so children, and I was excited to meet any new students we would be getting in. It was midweek when we were told a new family would be starting with us and would bring in 2 children. Enter the entitled family. From the moment they came through the door, it was evident they were going to be a bit of a pain, but you sometimes get difficult parents. Entitled mother walks in with a "Can I speak to your manager" haircut. How come every time I read one of these it's always the same? Entitled "Can you speak to your manager" haircut. Oh, entitled dad was trying to arrange entitled brat 1 and 2. Entitled brat 1 was a 5-year-old girl. She was well spoken, independent, and something about her seemed a bit off. Entitled brat 2 was 4 and, well, not to be mean, but he was fat. I'm not talking a bit pudgy. I mean this size was the biggest and roundest child I have ever laid my eyes on. Now, I'm far from a spring chicken myself, and where his size is not relevant to this story, I won't even share it because who am I to judge? For the first few minutes watching the family settle, a few things became quite apparent. Entitled brat 1 was mostly ignored by her family. That's could be a bit of a problem child when she grows up, wanting to seek the attention from the parents. Entitled brat 2 had everything done for him. The parents only stayed for an hour to let the kids settle in, then headed to work, and I thought things would be normal, but oh no. Entitled brat 2 had apparently taken quite a liking to me. I was super clingy. It's nice to be liked, but we do try to encourage children to play with each more than teachers, with one exception. SB. Who was SB again? Sweet Boy. That's it. Now, Sweet Boy was the sweetest child I've ever had the pleasure of teaching. He was almost 4, loved Robert Munch books and fire trucks, which was amazing since we were 4 buildings down from a fire station. And another girl's dad was a firefighter. Sweet Boy was also entirely non-verbal and had autism. This meant sometimes he had some difficulties with his interactions, but was overall very happy standing on a stool most of the day watching the firehouse and playing with his trucks. Usually I work with Sweet Boy all day since he had taken a liking to me, and for many toddlers on the spectrum, having someone they are comfortable with really helps with the ability to follow instructions and join in group activities. Entitled brat 2 did not like this one bit. He was constantly demanding the attention of not only me but all other staff members too. Sounds like a right spoiled brat. And when he felt he didn't get it, he would cry. Deadlier, entitled brat. Now, I am a very compassionate person, but also a nonsense teacher, and they cry and grew more time with the more obvious it was how spoiled entitled brat 2 was. Not only did entitled brat not know how to put on his Velcro shoes, open his lunchbox and put on his coat at 4 years old, a feat most 4-year-olds can manage with a bit of effort, he would demand help, and when I'm told I want to see you try first on your own, and then I will help you, he would have a fit, crying and throwing whatever he had. The second day they came to daycare, entitled dad pulled me aside and informed me that entitled brat 1 had said a child had hit her. Of course I was surprised, but it is daycare and these things happen. I apologised and told entitled dad we will keep an eye on her to make sure nothing happened again. Though I did find it odd since she spent most of the first day playing by herself. As she had stated, she liked her own space. We kept an eye on her all day and nothing happened. We were relieved, however, Entitled Brat 2 had begun hitting many other children, trying to take their toys from them, only to throw more tantrums when told to wait his turn and not to hit. This was especially worrying because of his size, and that most children in our care was quite small for their age. Again, the next day, Entitled Brat Dad comes in, this time with Entitled Mother, claiming the daughter had been hit. I politely informed them that the daughter hadn't interacted with anyone except for one other new girl, and that we've been keeping a very close eye on her all day and had not witnessed such an event. Entitled Mother grabs EB1's arm and said, "Show me who this boy who hit you." Entitled Brat 1 points to Sweet Boy. I told the parents Sweet Boy didn't even interact with EB1 all day as I was with him all day. Entitled Mother glares at me, says this autistic boy should be in a special school for other autistic children. I'm getting annoyed but trying to remain polite. Sweet Boy is just fine in his class, and this is where his older brother came, so he was comfortable here. Entitled Dad then cuts in, "That autistic boy traumatized our daughter. I don't mind children going somewhere unsafe." I irritated the fact that Entitled Brat 1 had not informed us of being hit by anyone, that we hadn't seen anything, and that it most certainly wasn't Sweet Boy who did it. Then I done goofed. I informed them that Entitled Brat 2 had actually hit several children, and both insisted that he was just stressed about the new environment. They gave a half-assed remember gentle hands to Entitled Brat 2 and left. Over the next week and a half there was a new issue every day. Anything from Entitled Brat 1 not getting to play with the dolls she wanted, to Entitled Brat 2 not being lifted up to see the slide. He couldn't climb the ladder and was far too heavy to lift without possible injury. No matter what, though, every day came with the accusation that the Sweet Boy had in some way been violent towards one of the children. I'd been careful to tell my manager, who worked downstairs in the other classroom, everything that had been happening when it was happening. My co-workers backed me up. The manager was a small but tough older woman with a very little filter who was not afraid of conflict. One morning she decided to stay in the classroom as the kids came in to see firsthand what Entitled Mother and Dad were going to say. Entitled Dad says that Entitled Brat 1, who had her habit of taking toys from kids, said Sweet Boy hit her and threw a truck at her and pulled her hair. I once again say I have been with Sweet Boy all day and none of that happened. However, once Entitled Brat 2 have been quite violent with children, all week I've been telling them about his discretions. Entitled Dad then says that Entitled Boy 2 is only like that because he has seen Sweet Boy hurting Entitled Brat 1 and is picking up bad behaviour because he's never like this. Entitled Mother instantly started on her rant about how she was going to call CPS to have this child removed. Really? From the daycare and put it in an autistic school. Em was quick to step in and tell her that she had no right to do that and that isn't her child. Entitled Mother and Dad kept going off about how autistic boy was a danger to other children and the autistic boy needs special care. Boss was getting clearly frustrated and said, "You need to stop calling him the autistic boy. His name is Sweet Boy, and that is incredibly disrespectful." Entitled Mother said, "Well, he is autistic, so I can call him what I want." "No, you can't, you stupid woman." Then said something that I didn't expect. So would you be fine if everyone called Entitled Brat 2 the fat boy instead of his name? Entitled Mother and Dad saw red. They grabbed the children and stormed out cussing about calling the police. A few days later, Boss came to me and told me they had left the daycare but wanted all their money back for a month and wanted to sue us for additional trauma the child experienced due to the time in the daycare. Boss had to go meet with them and the officials at the childcare license board to prove she didn't owe them anything. Luckily I had documented everything in a data communication book the staff shared, and myself and the other staff signed written statements basically saying the children were lying, violent, spoiled brats. Sounds like it too. Her boss also brought the contract with her they had signed and paid but stating they'll be with us for 3 months trial period, including a clause that stated the centre required a month's notice to leave. Entitled mother and dad ended up having to pay the 2 months left in the contract plus an additional month for no cancelling with notice. I only stayed at the daycare another month as I caught a very serious illness from a child and was off work for 3 months. Recovering, but the last I saw, Sweet Boy was doing wonderfully and starting to read along with some of his favourite books. Wow. I must admit, the manager's a savage. Getting the whole class to call the child Sweet Boy. Wow. Well, that was a bit of a long story, wasn't it? But I'm glad it all got sorted out in the end. Most of the time it is with the entitled parents just walking out. Anyway, let's get on to the next one. This one's called You Obviously Don't Need It and He Needs It for His Test. This happened last week when I was on my way to work. For background, I'm in a D&D group. Not sure what that is. That means every Saturday, Sunday and Tuesday night, and they're a bit of a knack for losing track of time and just not sleeping on those nights. So when I get ready for work, I stop at a gas station on the way and grab an energy drink and breakfast sandwich, because if I don't, I'm absolutely dead for the day. Well, no, I feel, and can't deal with the shitty people I work with and for. I'm also a bit of a chubby 20-something girl who doesn't really wear makeup. Basically a nice way of saying I look a few shades better than an extra on The Walking Dead, but only because I'm not missing bits of skin. Anyway, I'm getting my sandwich and some gas from my car, and lucky me, I grabbed the last NOS in my favourite flavour, cherry. I'm guessing that must be the energy drink. I then go to the breakfast sandwich, as the most Karen of Karens and her mid-teens failed abortion come in. She's getting a coffee and donuts, and her spawn is over by the energy drinks. He begins whining about there is not many on the shelf, as I grab my stuff and put on the counter to be rung up. That's when the little brat sees me. I have my drink and begins complaining, and lucky me, that brings Karen's attention my way. Hi, she said, obviously trying to push herself ahead of me in line. Can my son have that? Really? My dead stare, so a suitable response was rude, so I shook my head and said that no, I just bought it. They may have some in the back though. She took offence and started mouthing off about how I should get one of those. Then, after all, her son had a test and they were in a hurry and didn't want to be late. Then you should probably ask now, so that it's not too late. I bought this one and I'm going to be late for work. She narrowed her eyes before continuing to ask or demand that I hand it over despite having already paid. I would also like to point out that the cashier at this point recognised me and knew that I get a bit testy when tired and non-caffeinated. Hey, how many do you have in the back? My mum had a bit of a smug face. The mum had a bit of a smug face at this point, but I cracked open my can, which made her gasp and glare. We have a case left. I'll take it. Mind if I pick it up after work? It's about $40 with a $2 to $3 promotion they had going. I paid as she screamed about how that wasn't fair and now had enough caffeine to last me a month. If you coward, no one gets between me and my caffeine. I'm sorry guys, but that one is just savage. She actually buys a case just to spite her. Brilliant. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. This one's called Entitled Mum Almost Breaks Down the Toilet Door and accuses me of being a pervert. This probably won't be as dramatic as some stories, but I thought I'd post it anyway. So a bit of info. I'm pretty able-bodied, however I have issues with double incompetence, meaning I usually wear a nappy or pull-up when out for long periods of time. Oh dear. I've decided to go look for new jeans at the shop, which rhymes with Sparks and Mensa. Yeah, Sparks and Mensa. When nature happened and I need to change, so I go into the parents' room. An accessible toilet was out of order, and the parents' room had its own toilet as well as a changing area. I'm in mid-change when this nutjob starts thumping on the door and rattling the handle. I did shout, I'll just be a few more minutes, and then the handle rattling stops, but the core kept getting banged on, hard. No clue if she thought whoever was in there would magically disappear or whatever. I finished changing, wash my hands, and then go to the door to meet with a middle-aged woman with a wild, fragrant baby. She started berating me for taking so long when a child needs changing, and that her child would most likely get a rash because of me. When she noticed I had no child, she starts shouting at me, calling me disgusting for being in there, and that I must have been some kind of pervert. At this, I just pushed past her and leave. I didn't attempt to explain to her why I was in there, because she was so irate. I don't think it would matter. What annoys me the most about the encounter isn't the insults, but the fact she didn't know who was in the room before trying to beat down the door. Rather, it saddens me to hear people that are actually like that, Just because somebody's in the room doesn't mean to say they got a baby, disability at the end of the day. But anyway, guys, that's all the time I've got for now. If you enjoyed today's video, then please do leave a like. If you'd like to see more, then don't forget to subscribe, but don't also forget to click on that bell notification. But anyway, I shall see you all in the next video. Bye bye.